everyone, guys. How are you? How are you doing? This is Shocks and this is ShocksCapital FX. Today we want to talk about the best price action day trading setups that you can use to grow your small account. So what we are going to do is I'm going to explain the reasoning behind the theory behind the setups. Then I'm going on the charts and show you all the setups that you need or that you could have taken advantage of, and I'm going to show you live on the chart. So this is what I'm doing. We are starting on a chart, right? So what we are using to map up these setups is market structure. Why market structure? Because market structure is the easiest to spot on these currencies that we are trading. So for what we are doing here, we need to understand what market structure. And before we go any further, I just want you to know that this can be used on any time frame, right? Can be used on any time frame, but I'm going to be using the H1 to explain my strategy. So what you are going to be using is the market structure looks like this. So you are going to be marking the highs and the lows of the market, right? The highs and the lows. These are points that you are going to be marking out, right? So after you mark out these points, you are going to be looking at these zones where you are going to be waiting for retest at those particular zones. But the retest is not your usual break and retest strategy where you just want price to retest the zone that you have just drawn and you buy. No, we are going to be looking for a basic or a kind of advanced type of market structure, right? So what we are going to be looking for, it looks more like what I'm going to show you here, which is this. So you're going to be looking for something that looks like this. You see, this is a high, right? You're looking forward for break of structure. So let me just tell you things that you're going to be looking for. Number one, you're going to be looking for market structure. Number two, you're going to be looking for break of structure, BOS, right? Number three, you're going to be looking for retest, right? And number four, M's and W's. So this is not one of those strategies where you have to go to the lower time frames and look for M or a W depending on what direction you are going, right? You are going to be looking for the W or the M right at this zone on that particular time frame that you have mapped out. You are going to be looking for your W or your M at that zone, right? And you are going to be taking the trades using the rules that I'll show you as we conclude this video later on. So just make sure you watch till the end and you like and subscribe, share with friends and family so that they can also benefit from this particular video, and it helps our channel a great deal. So what we are doing here is you are looking for this pattern, and if you have to draw that pattern like plainly so that you can clearly see, so that when we go to the live charts you can clearly relate with the patterns that we are going to be showing you. So this is what I want you guys to see. Number one, you want a high, right? Then you want a W like this, a W like that, something like that. Then if you are going down, we want an M, and the M we want it at what? At this zone, right? Then we go. Right, so what we are going to do is we want this W inside this zone and we want this M inside this zone, right? So we draw our zones like that and we will see how it goes. So this is what we want to see from our from our charts. So let's just dive into the charts and see what we can have here. So right, number one, you can clearly see that price prior to this we were in a downtrend. So this is Euro USD, right? So what you can clearly see is we have a break of structure here, and we have two retests to this particular zone. So your entry is going to be on this retest. Remember, I'm going to show you what you need to clearly see on that M or that W for you to validate it as a confirmed entry, right? Number one, you have this retest, and I'm going to show you again rules of those patterns, what you need to see and what you don't need to see, right? And I'm going to show you that this will not win 100% of the time, but it's going to put odds into your favor, right? It's going to put odds into your favor. So it's a very good strategy, right? It's not 100%, but it's right up there with the best strategies, right? So we have 1, 2 retests, right? So what we are just looking for is a break of structure, a break of a break of a low like this and a retest 2 times like what you are seeing here. This is what we want to see, a break here and a retest 2 times, a break here and a retest 2 times, a break and a retest 2 times, right? Enough with that. Let's just go back to the whiteboard right here, and I'm going to explain what you need to see to validate your M. After this, I'm going to show you this again on the charts. So number one, when you see a high, right? When you see a high like this and you draw your zone, right? And price breaks that zone. Number one, that is what? Break of what? Break of structure. Number two, when you see price retesting that, now what you need to see is the second leg. If you are buying, the second leg should be what? Should be above the what? The first leg. You see, this is the first leg, and this second leg should be above this one. This second leg, it shouldn't go below like this and then you buy. No, it should be above the what? The level, the lowest level of the what? Of the first what? Of the first leg. So this is what you're going to be seeing here on the charts. Okay, this is what you're going to be seeing here on your charts, right? So this is the chart that we're looking for. These are the examples that I've shown you. So number one, you have this leg, then you have this. So we are going to ignore this because this is not the setup that we want. Why? Because the highest level of this leg is here. What we wanted is all of the second leg to be below that level, right? So this first example is a trade that you are not going to participate in. Then number two, you see this is where the break of structure is, and this is the highest level of the first leg. The second leg is here, and you are going to take what? To take this trade. Then we have a break of structure. Then we have number one, we have number two. As you can see, this is below the first leg, and you are going to take that trade again. And when you come to this one, you are not going to take such a trade. Why? Because the second leg is not below the first leg. You need a scenario where the first leg is above the second leg when it comes to these trades when you are selling. Then when you are buying, you need the second leg to be above the lowest point of the first leg. So if you look at these examples, you clearly see what trades you could have taken, or what trades are valid and what trades are not valid, right? So you come here again. This is a buy example. On the buy example, what do you see? You see a move that looks like this, right? Remember, after this, I'm going to show you the confirmations that you need to see on the second leg. So stay tuned and take notes, as this strategy will help you in your trading, or you can edit your trading plan depending on how you are trading as an individual. So break of structure, the break is here, right? After the break, what do you see? The first leg just below the second leg here. So what you are going to do is you are taking this trade. So we are going back to these trades that we are marking as valid and trying to see what were the confirmations of those trades and what you would want to look for if you are to take such kind of trades. So you see, this is a valid first retest, second retest. What if you don't like pins? You could use this as your first retest, and this is your second retest, but you were not going to take this trade as is. Why? Because of the reasons that I'm going to show you later on in the video, right? Then you have this example where you have the first leg and the second leg, right? So the reason why I'm saying this strategy is best for growing a small account is because of the predictability of this move and the tight stop loss that you are going to use. So the probabilities are staked in this favor, in the favor of this in this strategy. Why? Because we are looking at what we call a shift in market structure, a situation where price fails to go above a high and stops just below the high, meaning it's forming what you call a higher low. When it forms a higher low, it's a confirmation of a downtrend. So this strategy is very good when it comes to growing accounts because it's confirmed in its own pattern, in the structure of the pattern alone. It's confirming the direction that you would want to go as a trader with a small account, right? Small account matters, right? So what you are going to do here is we have one retest, then the second retest here, and as you can see, these are valid retests that you can use. And if you look even on these other trades, you can clearly see that this pattern repeats itself over and over again. So right, After that, what we are going to do is we are going to be looking at the confirmations of this trade. So confirmation number one, you would want to see a trade or confirmation patterns or candlestick patterns. Number one, you would want to see a railroad track, right? This is a pattern that looks like this. So depending on the direction, so the direction doesn't matter because these candles are just equal in size. So what you just need to see is two different colors here, and you can confirm the direction of your trade. If you are going up, you would need this as a bullish candle. If you are going down, you would need this as a bearish candle. That's the railroad track. Then number two, you are going to need a pin. So a pin looks like this. A pin, a hammer, a tweezer, or something like that. So if there are two, they are called a tweezer, right? And if it's like this, a hangman or something like that, but we can just call them pins, right? You need to see a pin at that particular zone or on the second leg of the of the pattern that you would want to see at that particular zone that we are looking at, right? Then number three, you can use a morning star or an evening star, a candlestick that looks like this, right? Candlestick that looks like this. So a morning star or an evening star are just versions of a railroad track. So if you need some third confirmation, you can use a bullish engulfing candle or a bearish engulfing candle. So an engulfing candle will look like this, where you are seeing this candlestick going above this previous candlestick, or going below, depending on where you are going. So with that being said, let's just go back to our charts and clearly see what were the confirmations on those trades that we termed as valid. So we'll start with the first example that we did, which is this one. So on this trade, what do we see? You see a first leg, right? The first leg is in. Then the second leg that you can clearly see that we have a railroad track at this particular point. So after this candle prints, that's your railroad track, and you are going to take that trade as is, and your stop loss is going to go above the first leg of the move. Then number two, what do you see? You have an engulfing candlestick as your confirmation pattern for this particular trade, and you're going to take that. So in more or less these patterns are going to coincide with your sessions, right? So if you're trading London session, you can clearly, or you can expect the second leg in the London session, right? So as you can see here, this was in New York, the first retest. The second one was in London session. So right in the London Q zone, you can expect this pattern. And on this first one, this was in Asia. So if you are someone who doesn't trade Asia, you're going to avoid that. But this pin here came in London open. So you could have taken this in London, right? Depending on what session you are trading, right? And on this third example, you can clearly see that this was a morning star formation. So this was a star formation. Why? Because we have a candlestick going up, then a doji, then a candlestick engulfing that doji, and that candlestick that engulfed was more or less the same size of the first candlestick that went up to give birth to that doji. So this is what you are seeing right from that. And remember, we said we were not going to take this trade because it doesn't fit the rules of our strategy, the rules of engagement, right? Then this one, we have first retest, second retest, and what do you need to see? What you need to see is an engulfing candle like that going up, and this was going to be your trade confirmation for this particular trade. On this one, what do we have? We have an engulfing candle going up, and look at that move that gave birth to that. So this is what you can clearly use to grow your small account and to do whatever you want with your account, right? Once it's grown, or you can use this as an advanced trader just to make money from the market with your big account, right? It doesn't matter really. If it works for a small account, it most certainly works for a bigger account. So let's just recap what we were saying here. Number one, you need to see a move that breaks structure, a very, very, very aggressive move like this. So we have moves, this move, that move. All these are aggressive moves, right? You just mark that break of structure as a zone. Then you wait for price to retest that particular zone with two touches to that particular zone, and you enter on the second touch after confirming your what, your candlestick patterns or your candlestick charts confirmations, right? So this is what you're waiting for. So guys, I hope this was helpful, and remember, before you use this, just go back to your charts, back test this on the pairs, and determine on which pairs or on which commodities do this work best. And if you have confirmed that, you can use this, or you can put this as part of your trading plan. Guys, I think and hope that this was helpful. See you on the next one. I'm Shocks, and I'm out. Trade what you see.